That's right. Pa, 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 pa. Yeah, come on. Let me tell you, this is gonna be great. Trump says he's very confident that he'd win and that people would want him to run.
Do you recall how dull arguments used to be? Not any longer. Comedy gold, as Kimmel and Carvey just tore into Trump's behavior throughout the debate. They did not spare anything, including his incessant interruptions and fixation with hair. This is something you really must see. We've seen how Kimmel and Carvey honed their comedic skills for Trump, but what happens when they give his debate performance their full attention? It's like witnessing a slow-motion train catastrophe, only the orange train is yelling fake news at the other train. Honestly, Trump's manner of debating is as logical as a baby attempting to explain quantum theories after consuming a bag of sweets. Trump's debate actions were not only ridiculed by Kimmel and Carvey, but they were also transformed into an endless source of comedic material. Do you recall the time that Trump kept interrupting Biden so much that it seemed like he was trying out for the part of annoying guy in movie theater? Kimmel, of course, had to poke fun at that. He said Trump knows that he interrupted too much in their last debate, so his game plan for this one is to not do that. And as we all know, he has an uncanny ability to stick to his game plan. His discipline is unmatched. Of course, Trump has such unparalleled discipline that he manages to look as concentrated as a well-oiled squirrel. Hold on, things get better. Carvey's impression of Trump is akin to witnessing the disintegration of absurdity by a comedic physicist. More accurately than a 3 in the morning Wikipedia binge, he captured Trump's penchant to get off subject. Imagine Carvey portraying Trump in all his orange glory, spitting out gems like, "I like my froyo like I like my voters," white and sloppy. It appears as though someone fed an AI nothing but Trump speeches and ice cream menus before asking it to write a presidential address. The hilarious treasure trove doesn't end there, though. It gets deeper. Oh no. Gas. You know, some people call it gas. We call it gasoline. Nobody knows, nobody cares. T-Rex poop. You put it in your tank, you drive like you wouldn't believe.
We used to have so much of it. T-Rex poop, you put it in your tank, you drive like you wouldn't believe. I'm telling you that. Some people call it gas, okay? We call it gasoline, all right? Nobody knows, nobody cares. And let me tell you, many people are saying it's dead dinosaur poop. That's what it is. I don't know.
Carvey's Trump continued his absurd voyage. Who would have thought fossil fuels could be so funny? It's as though Trump is attempting to use a joke about ancient poop to solve the energy situation. The worst part is that, despite the fact that we are all laughing, Kimmel and Carvey are actually drawing attention to some very important issues. Consider it. Trump's conduct during debates is more than simply material for late-night humor. It's an insight into the thoughts of a man who aspires to be the president of the nation once more. Kimmel's jest over Trump's lack of ability to follow a strategy, that serves as a reminder of Trump's impatience and lack of self-control, not merely a joke. And Carvey's digressive, irrelevant take on Trump. While it's amusing, it also highlights Trump's propensity to sidestep hard inquiries and substitute platitudes for real policy. It's as like they're putting, "Hey, maybe we should be worried about this," on top of a comedy sandwich. But there's still more. Even his future intentions are hinted at by Carvey's Trump. "We're gonna have a new, better wife. We're gonna cheer her in for a better life. She's gonna be very beautiful." Some say Ivanka, but I'm telling you, we're looking into a lot of candidates. Now, First Lady isn't supposed to be a casting call, but I'm not sure about you. It appears as though Trump still believes he is hosting The Apprentice, but he is attempting to employ a white rather than fire staff members. Comedy gold came from Trump's outburst during the debate. But let's speak about the real heavyweight match, Biden versus Trump, the political Rocky Balboa matchup. Who would have imagined that boxing contests and presidential debates would be drawn parallel? But guys, here we are. We can't help but imagine Biden pulling off his best Rocky impression at Camp David thanks to Jimmy Kimmel. Biden has secluded himself at Camp David, where he's preparing for this bout like Rocky Balboa getting ready for Clubberlang. Can't you just picture it? With his arms triumphantly lifted, Biden, dressed in a gray sweatsuit, ran up the steps of a government building. It's possible that Gonna Fly Now is playing on a boombox for him. What about Trump, though? Is he out there punching beef sides and doing one-armed push-up? No, Kimmel has a different opinion about the Donald's preparation for the debate. And Trump is hard at work right now, deciding whether to go with the scented Aquanet or unscented. People, these are difficult decisions. A country's destiny rests on the performance of Trump's hair products. As everyone knows by now, Trump has a unique debate style, to put it mildly. Recall the previous instance? It resembled a verbal sparring match more than a discussion. Kimmel, however, is confident that Trump will turn things around. Trump knows that he interrupted too much in their last debate, so his game plan for this one is to not do that. And as we all know, he has an uncanny ability to stick to his game plan. His discipline is unmatched. Oh, Jimmy, your sarcasm could shatter glass. Rocky Biden is positioned in one corner and Hairspray Trump in the other one. What? Like a strange political rendition of the WWE. Just listen to the announcer, please. In the blue corner, weighing in at however many Big Macs he's had this this week, the Mar-a-Lago menace, the Sultan of Insult, Donald the Donald Trump. And in the opposite corner, hopefully Biden will recall which corner is his. On a serious note, though, this discussion is going to be quite the show. These days, it's not only about policy, it's also about perseverance, swift recoveries, and presumably hairstyle decisions. Who will deliver the decisive blow? Who will be left with a starry vision? Above all, who will remember to focus on the real problem? Comedians such as Carvey and Kimmel are undoubtedly enjoying themselves immensely with this political sparring. This discussion is being framed as the fight of the century, and perhaps it is. The stakes are really high after all. Winning the White House is more important than merely taking home a championship. Speaking of powerful people in politics, let's focus on the circus that is Trump's quest for a vice president. Who would have thought that choosing a running companion would cause more mayhem than a three-ring circus? It seems that Trump has selected 8 candidates as his possible vice presidential nominee. That like some weird version of reality TV where the winner gets to witness Trump's ego parade up close. And whoa, this list includes some true winners. Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio is up first. This man has perfected the art of the political backflip. Do you recall when Vance referred to Trump as cultural heroine and America's Hitler? Yes, such were the times. He's singing a different tune now, though. Regarding Vance's abrupt change of heart,
is Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, who's gone full MAGA, despite the fact that he shared many less than complimentary thoughts about Trump. Trump is expected to announce his pick for running mate at or just before the convention next month.
I'm a never Trump guy. Never liked him. Terrible candidate. Idiot if you voted for him. Might be America's Hitler.
Kimmel hit the perfect joke. Look, I was wrong about Donald Trump. I didn't think he was going to be a good president. He was a great president. I didn't know you meant that. When I said America's Hitler, I meant that in a positive way. Really, who among us hasn't unintentionally made a compliment to someone named Hitler? I mean, it occurs all the time.
I didn't know you meant that, Donald Trump. When I said America's Hitler, I meant that in a good way. It's like...
I was wrong about Donald Trump. I didn't think he was going to be a good president, Brett. He was a great president.
J.D. Vance is a poor man who has been misinterpreted the entire time. Or perhaps all he's asking for is that we all have goldfish-like memory. But there's still more. Governor Doug Burgum of North Dakota is someone we cannot overlook. Trump adores this man because of his tremendous wealth. After all, what shout man of the people more than forming an alliance with another billionaire? Burgum's eagerness for the limelight gave Kimmel and Carvey a field day. It's like witnessing a deer caught in headlight. Only instead of a headlight, the deer is trying to explain trickle-down economics while donning a suit. One must ask what standards Trump has when selecting a vice president. Whose groveling is the more convincing? Or perhaps it's a competition to see who can turn their prior beliefs about Trump around the fastest. It resembles a political version of Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the morality is meaningless and everything is made up. The entire VP search process serves as yet another illustration of the anarchy that lurks underneath Trump. Seemingly disparaging him as America's Hitler, you find yourself desiring to be his deputy shortly after. It's sufficient to cause whiplash, not to mention that all of this is taking on while Trump is embroiled in more legal issues than a Law and Order season. You have to give the multitasking credit. The majority of people would be preoccupied with, well, staying out of jail. However, Trump, here he is, hosting a special edition of The Apprentice VP edition. With a twist, it appears as though Trump is assembling a group of yes men. These yes men were once no men. Therefore, they're not just any yes men. Folks, this is political evolution in real time. Darwin would find this fascinating. It appears that Trump's search for a running mate is becoming a circus act. But let's be honest, there's much more to this whole Trump carnival than debate stunts and vice presidential sidekick. Our late-night heroes, Kimmel and Carvey, are dishing out some fiery roasts about actual issues that will make you both laugh and cry. When comedians can better explain politics than elected officials, you know something is wrong. Consider this gem from Kimmel regarding Trump's debating ability. Trump reportedly cannot wait to attack Joe Biden. It's the most he's ever hated someone he wasn't married to. Whoa!
Skipping every other debate, Trump reportedly cannot wait to attack Joe Biden. It's the most he's ever hated someone he wasn't married to. Trump knows that he interrupted too much in their last debate, so his game plan for this one is to not do that.
That's a scathing critique of Trump's entire personal life drama, not simply his debate tactics. But there's still more. These comedic masters aren't just making jokes. They're delving into some very important topics. Do you recall the time the governor of Louisiana decided to post the 10 Commandments in every public school? Maybe they should also post the Constitution in the Louisiana governor's office so he can give it a read every once in a while, Kimmel said without missing a beat. That's a serious civics lesson encased in a terrible joke. Not just a joke. Not to be overlooked is Dana Carvey's Trump impression. It resembles seeing a political cartoon in real life. You can't help but laugh and cringe when he riffs on Trump's views on gas prices. Gas. You know, some people call it gas. We call it gasoline. Many people are saying it's dead dinosaur poop. It's funny because it's absurd, but it's also not that far from the truth.
Nobody knows, nobody cares. And let me tell you, many people are saying it's dead dinosaur poop. That's what it is. I don't know. We used to have so much of it, T-Rex poop. You put it in your tank, you drive like you wouldn't believe. I'm telling you that. Gas, you know, some people call it gas, okay? We call it gasoline, all right?
These men are balancing being tough and funny at the same time. You could be laughing at a ridiculous impersonation one moment and then faced with some harsh, unforgiving reality. Kimmel isn't incorrect when he says, for example, that everything is upside down. People are doing things just for attention. He seems to be reflecting our entire bizarre political circus in a mirror. The worst part is that, despite the fact that we're all laughing so hard at these brilliant attacks, Kimmel and Carvey are actually putting in a lot of hard work. They are deconstructing complicated problems, exposing hypocrisy, and bringing the ridiculousness of it all to light. We're all along for the ride, as if they've discovered this enchanted sweet spot where humor and critique collide. Let's now focus on Dana Carvey, the true star of this political circus, and his accurate observation. With a comic genius who can change into both Biden and Trump faster than you can say fake news, who needs real candidates? Carvey's portrayal of Trump is akin to a live caricature, replete with all the conceit and monotonous speech patterns we've grown accustomed to. Imagine Carvey as Trump, puffed up and bellowing, "Don't be rude, don't be rude. You were nice, now you're not so nice. I know nice. Everybody's nicer than me. Nobody's nicer than me. Excuse me, everybody's saying it. Even Kim Jong-un. Tiny Kim. Tiny teeny Kim."
Everybody's saying it, even Kim Jong-un. Tiny Kim. Tiny teeny Kim. Little tiny feet, the smallest feet you've ever seen. My feet are fine. Here's a tiny, let me tell you that. He's a teeny weeny Kim. He told me last week while we were eating froyo yogurt.
It sounds like music played on a broken record player that only plays songs that feed your ego. But there's still more. Biden, as portrayed by Carvey, is a whole different animal. He perfectly captures the folksy manner and garbled sentences that leave you wondering if Uncle Joe has been drinking too much eggnog. It's like watching a human game of jumble, only with policy points instead of words. Just listen to this gem. Come on, number one, the one part. You know the deal. Come on, folks. Number two is, in fact, number two. This isn't rocket science. Come on, number 2.5, more of the second part. Listen real close, folks. More of the second part. And number 7, yeah, number 7. I know how to do the 7 part. But these impersonations are more than simply a joke. They represent all the eccentricities and imperfections of our great leaders, much like a comedic mirror held up to our political scene.
I love the Mexicans. I love your people. You're tremendous people. I like your guacamole and your choo-choo chopras. I love it.
You gotta have a big smile, an honest handshake, a couple of corn-fed Secret Service fellas.
Don't be rude. Don't be rude. You were nice, now you're not so nice. I know nice. Everybody's nicer than me.
It's me, your old pal Joe. Let's get the show on the road.
With his ability to exaggerate, Carvey elevates Trump's self-love to a new level and elevates Biden's verbal blunders to the level of an Olympic sport. For Trump, exaggeration is everything. Everything is the most amazing thing you have ever seen. Greatest thing ever. It's as like he's trying to sell us a second-hand automobile, only he's the only one who knows how to drive it. The car is America. That ethos is expertly captured by Carvey, who makes Trump sound like a used car salesman who wandered into the Oval Office by accident. Regarding Biden, Carvey focuses on those come-on, folks moments that leave you wondering whether the president is using a hamster on a wheel for teleprompter power. It's all about that old-fashioned charm with a hint of mystery, like when your grandfather tries to teach you how to use the internet while simultaneously forgetting what it is. There's more to these impressions than amusing voices. Comparable to a humorous X-ray, they expose the fundamental aspects of a candidate's public image, whereas Biden exudes a combination of rustic charm and, did I leave the stove on? Enthusiasm. Trump is all bombast and bluster, but there's still more. Kimmel and Carvey had their sights set on some other political personalities, while Trump and Biden were busy slugging it out like two elderly guys battling over the last pudding cup at the retirement. You know, the people who believed they could go unnoticed during the major event. First up, we have J.D. Vance, the man who, when it came to Trump, flipped more quickly than a fish out of water. He said, "I'm a never Trump guy. Never liked him. Terrible candidate. Idiot. If you voted for him, might be America's Hitler." Look, I was wrong about Donald Trump. I didn't think he was going to be a good president. He was a great president. Talk about a change of heart. Kimmel couldn't resist pointing out Vance's 180-degree turn. It seems as though Vance decided to exchange his moral convictions for a MAGA hat one day when he woke up. Not to be overlooked is Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards, who believed that hanging the 10 Commandments in public classrooms was a fantastic idea. Maybe they should also post the Constitution in the Louisiana governor's office so he can give it a read every once in a while.
If you're talking about the 10 Commandments, the governor said he's looking forward to a legal challenge. He believes this is a big win for him politically.
The display of the 10 Commandments in every classroom in public, elementary, secondary, and post-education schools.
The kind of thing we have to deal with now in the Trump era. Everything is upside down.
Kimmel said, unable to contain his satire. Ouch. Someone appears to need a refresher on the concept of the separation of church and state. Pinnacle of political foolishness, though, has to go to George Santos. For Kimmel and Carvey, this guy's political career is an endless episode of punk, and they are loving every second of it. Santos is experimenting with every money-making plan in the book, from Cameo to OnlyFans. It's like seeing a live-action take on those get-rich-quick pop-up advertisements.